At age 36, the King is still lording over his NBA kingdom as his reign as the greatest basketball player in his generation might be prolonged even further than we expect. To celebrate the King's continued greatness, let's take a look back at some of his most unforgettable and iconic performances in both the regular season and playoff history. Long may he reign. If you like NBA content like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you'll be in the loop with our newest videos. Give this video a thumbs up as well. Number 10. The young King drops 56 against the Raptors. Just 2 years removed from his rookie season, the 20-year-old LeBron James showed his dominance by putting up a spectacular stat line of 56 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals, while shooting 50% from the field against the Toronto Raptors. He let the Raptors know that there's a new kid in town as the young King was ultra-aggressive and turned on attack mode from the opening tip. Whether it was from set plays, coming off pin-down screens, or clear-out ISO situations, LeBron was getting the shots he wanted, and the Raptors simply couldn't do anything to neutralize him. This was also LeBron's first 50-point game, which was clearly a prologue to his budding greatness and his formal introduction as the next big star of the league. Number 9. LeBron conjures 57 points versus the Wizards. Coming off their historic finals comeback the season prior, LeBron shook off the vacation rust by exploding with a 57-point outburst just 9 games in the 2017 season. Over the course of 48 minutes, it was a field day for LeBron as he obliterated anyone that came his way using his 6'8" frame and bullyballed any player wearing a red jersey. The King went 23 of 34 from the field and sunk all his free throws. On top of his impressive scoring stat, the King filled the rest of the stat column to the brim by adding 11 boards, 7 dimes, and 3 steals to cap off his astonishing performance with a Cavaliers win, 130-122. In an interview right after the game, LeBron said he just felt that every shot that he took would hit the bottom of the net. Well, I guess it's just one of those days when you feel that you're in the zone and can't miss anything. Number 8. The return of the King. LeBron went from being the most celebrated franchise player in the league to becoming the most vilified and hated person in the blink of an eye when he decided to form his 3-man gang down at South Beach in 2010. As expected, the King's homecoming was greeted with a shower of boos and jeers courtesy of his former loyal subjects at the Quicken Loans Arena. Under the extreme and hostile pressure from the Cleveland crowd, LeBron shut them up by posting 38 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals, while shooting at a high 60% clip. From the opening buzzer, LeBron set the tone early with a few jumpers and forced his way to the cup with little to no resistance. The Heat would dominate the game wire to wire and come away with a 118-90 victory, and despite the changing color of his uniform and zip code, it was clear that LeBron still owned that arena with that kind of virtuoso performance. Number 7. LeBron comes up big in the 2013 NBA Finals. Ray Allen's game-saving 3 in Game 6 in the 2013 Finals was the talk of the town heading to the last game of the season. After the dust settled, the stage was set for a go-big or go-home matchup in Game 7, and under the bright lights of the NBA Finals, LeBron showed up and gave the Heat yet another title under his watch. Not known for his long and mid-range shooting, the Spurs sagged in every screen and let LeBron beat them from the outside. The strategy was actually effective in the earlier games of the series, but this time around, LeBron came up big and made the Spurs pay for opting to go under. He tallied 37 points along with 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, while shooting 52% from the field and making 5 shots out of 10 from the arc. For those naysayers that kept saying that LeBron was not clutch enough, he's the one who actually delivered the go-ahead basket that gave the Heat a 4-point lead cushion with under 30 seconds left in the game. It was another classic performance from Bron that gave him his second championship wearing red and white. Number 6. The King wins it all for Cleveland. I'm sure you're probably hearing Mike Breen hollering, "Curry to Iguodala, up for the layup, oh, blocked by James," in the backdrop as you watch this part of the video. Not only did LeBron come from behind to reject Iguodala's shot with impunity, but the Cavs also rose from the dead and came back to life after the 73-9 Warriors buried them in a 3-1 hole. After 52 years of not winning any championships in the 4 major professional sports, LeBron gave a performance of a lifetime with a series-clinching triple-double of 27 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. He also added 3 steals and 2 blocks to cement his momentous comeback that will go down as one of the most iconic finals clashes in NBA history. To add more glamour and prestige to this moment, LeBron was crowned as the Finals MVP, and he was the only player ever to lead all players in a series across all major statistical categories. Number 5. 40 points in Game 4 versus the Pacers. After being defeated at the hands of the Dallas Mavericks in the 2011 NBA Finals, LeBron looked like he made the wrong decision in teaming up with Bosh and Wade in Miami as their championship aspirations were slowly fading away, thanks to a 2-1 disadvantage against the Indiana Pacers in the first round. LeBron's legacy was pretty much at stake here, and he needed to come up big yet again to save it. With his back against the wall in front of the raucous sea of people wearing bright yellow shirts, LeBron torched the Pacers with 40 points, coupled with a playoff high of 18 rebounds, and sprinkled 2 blocks and 2 steals in to go along. He also dropped 9 dimes to seal Game 4 for the Heat and cap off his masterpiece on a high note entering the pivotal Game 5. In the end, the Heat stormed back and closed the series in 6. Several matchups later, the Heat would finally be crowned as champs after crushing the youthful OKC Thunder in 5 games. Number 4. LeBron drops 41 to avoid elimination. It seemed like the unpleasant past of finals failure kept hunting LeBron in the 2016 NBA Finals when they were thrown a haymaker by the Golden State Warriors that put them on the precipice of elimination, down 3-1. But LeBron had other plans in mind and simply would not go down without a fight. In fact, the opposite happened as he raged against the dying light by scorching the Warriors on their home court with 41 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks on 53% shooting. This brilliant performance of the King has ignited and fueled the greatest comeback in NBA history as they would win the next 2 games to defeat arguably the greatest team ever assembled in recent memory, the 73-9 Golden State Warriors. Number 3. Crowning of the new King in the Palace. LeBron has 8 straight final appearances with 4 NBA championships under his belt. Without a doubt, LeBron has already cemented his legacy as one of the best playoff performers of all time. But if there's one playoff moment that truly transformed him from being a potential superstar into becoming King James, then that defining moment was on the night of May 31st, 2007. With the series tied 2-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons, King James single-handedly carried the Cavs to a 109-107 double overtime victory over the Pistons at the Palace of Auburn Hills, which was a suitable venue for the coronation of the new king. With 6:05 remaining in the fourth, LeBron managed to score 19 points, which was 8 points shy of his regular season average. But when you have an old Zydrunas Ilgauskas as your second option in offense and a bunch of role players, putting points on the board is going to be extremely difficult for your squad. In this crucial juncture of the game, LeBron took over and carried his underperforming teammates by scoring 29 of the Cavaliers' last 30 points, including the stretch where he scored 25 consecutive points. He was virtually unstoppable, bucket after bucket, as he attacked the defense of Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace inside the paint and hitting mid-range jumpers against the outstretched arms of Tayshaun Prince and constant defensive harassment of Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups. At the end of the game, Billups expressed his disappointment for failing to stop LeBron. "We threw everything we had at him. We just couldn't stop him." King James finished the night with a stellar stat line of 48 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. Number 2, a repeat performance to force Game 7. Coming off a fresh win in Game 5 of the 2016 Finals, LeBron and the rest of the Cavs were once again placed in a must-win situation on their home court in Game 6. In another gut-check moment, LeBron delivered an encore performance to the tune of 41 points as he had the same number 2 nights prior back in Game 5. He followed it up with 11 dimes and 8 boards, and he amped it up on the defensive end too, with 4 steals and 4 blocks. It was another momentum shifter of a game for the Cavs that was highlighted with a humiliating rejection by James over Steph Curry when he tried to go up for a swooping layup. Number 1, a legacy-saving game for LeBron. The stakes were high for LeBron James in Game 6 of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. He was one loss away from another elimination just 2 years after he decided that he was going to take his talents to South Beach. One loss away from embarrassing himself on the big stage because despite having all-star teammates, the King was still unable to pull through and was one loss away to kiss his bid goodbye of becoming the greatest basketball player to ever live. Playoff jitters caused LeBron to struggle in the early parts of the first quarter, but the King would rise and flex his guns to finish the half with 30 points. He would drop another 15 in the next 2 quarters and would hit 73% of his shots with 19 makes on 26 tries. It was a blowout victory for the Heat with a score of 98-79 against the Celtics, and James would add 15 rebounds and 5 assists to round off this one to force a deciding Game 7 at home, which the Heat would win behind LeBron's 31 and 12. Which of these is your favorite LeBron moment, and do you have other memorable LeBron performances in mind that weren't included in the list? Let us know your answers in the comments down below. If you like our content, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to like the video as well. We'll see you in our next video.